Okay, once again, greetings of the day. Dear students, today is the day on which I'm going to start the new lessons, and that is probably the phases of traditional project management. As you know, that a lot of students they come late. Okay, they join the room lately. So till that point, I would like to explain previously what we have studied, dear students. So we started with uh, we started chapter 2 in our previous lessons, uh, and the presentation consists of project management phases, and I started the lecture with the very first topic, that is project management phases. And then the first phase we had in project management was, dear students, a defining phase. Okay, some may call it the initiation phase. Okay, or in other may say it's a defining phase. So these students, I elaborated 2 points, the two major points when you're going to define the project phase. Okay, defining phase. So the first was a feasibility study, okay, and the second was business document, right? Business case document. So business case document actually was a document which tells you what exactly was the problem, okay, so that we started the project, or what exactly was the opportunity that we wanted to avail. And the second, year students, I talked about the feasibility study. And feasibility study is a study in which it's a complete and thorough study, right? In which we want to see whether the project that we are going to initiate, right? Can it satisfy three factors I talked about, with you, right? The first was whether the project is possible, it's affordable, and it is implementable. So if any project satisfies these three factors in feasibility study, so it's a green signal for you, students. So it means that you can start the project and you can go ahead. And in addition, I talked about the following questions in order to complete the defining phase of any project, these students. So what exactly you should answer is the five question, like what is the problem, opportunity, okay, goal of projects, what objective must be met to accomplish the goal, and then you're setting the criteria for success of any project, and then you have to enlist the assumption, risks, obstacles of any given project. So business defining was done, and then I talked about the planning phase, and I talked about that we have a separate chapter for planning phase. Okay, that is chapter 4, and where you will be able to study, the different planning techniques we have. So when we are, planning for any project, okay, it's like you are, determining a roadmap for the project. You are determining, or you are deciding on the roadmap, okay. You're setting your destination, okay, and you are also, allocating resources, whether human resources, financial resources, okay, and you are also setting rules and regulations, and what needs to be done, and who are accountable for these projects, and what are the determinants of a project success. Okay, so planning phase, inshallah, this will be further elaborated, and this will be further discussed with you, inshallah, in upcoming chapters. And the reason why do planning, okay, there are three things that we want to make sure, okay, that they are put in place, okay? For example, planning actually reduces uncertainty, okay? Any unfavorable factor that is likely to have, influence on your projects. So identification of these uncertainty and how best can we reduce these uncertainty or risks that we have, in the future, right? In addition, planning increases understandability between the members of the projects, right? The project team, and it clearly states, a clear sense of duties and responsibilities. Every team member or project team member that have been assigned, okay, they have been assigned duties and responsibilities, so they exactly know what to do and how to do and how things are done in any given project. In addition, these students I talked about planning improve efficiency. So planning actually also improves your efficiency. Efficiency means the resources we have, okay, limited resources. How best to utilize these available resources. Okay, the concept is based upon zero wastage, okay, and when you have efficiency, and on the other hand, planning also improves your effectiveness. So efficiency and effectiveness combinedly they form productivity. So let me submit these students. Okay, productivity is combination of your efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency is resource-based concept, and effectiveness is your time-based concept. Okay, so when combine them, so then it forms another concept that is called productivity. So planning was done, execution I talked about that, before execution everything was paperwork, okay, and this is somewhere the real action begins, okay. So here the project is brought into reality, okay, it is brought into action, and in order to make sure that execution is perfectly implemented, okay, you need to follow the steps we have here mentioned in form of one. The first one, identification of specific resources. Then you have to assign workers, okay, and third, schedule activities with specific start and end dates. And last, here in execution, you have to launch the plan. Okay, so you are making noise. So I'm going to mute you. I'm gonna give you chance to ask me questions when I'm going to wind this up. Okay, so I'm simultaneously I'm going to record the video. So in order to have a good recording, so I'm gonna mute you. Okay. Okay, so dear students, execution was also taught to you, dear students. I guess from yeah, controlling actually, a controlling function of any project ensures that what we are doing is it according to the plan we expected, or we created or developed. Okay, so controlling, along with controlling these students, you will see another word, monitoring and controlling. Okay, so here you are actually comparing the actual work, uh, your actual work with the real work, the actual work with the plan work. Okay, and finding the significant deviation or finding the significant differences between what is planned and what is actually there. And if you see any deficiencies, any deviation, dear students, how best can we respond to those deficiencies? Okay, so controlling is there to take corrective steps in order to get back on the track, right? The track that was planned, in the planning phase of project management. And there were four questions that that I talked about, that what needs to be accomplished in projects. So you must have a clear sense of clear sense of what you're going to achieve, right? So this is already determined in project planning, okay? And when each task must be accomplished, so you are actually deciding on the duration of those activities, and you're also distributing authority and responsibilities for completing these tasks. And when you are going to complete these tasks in any project, okay, what is going to be the end result, okay, what is going to be the output of these each tasks. So when you're going for a controlling function of any project, dear students, so we have different approaches that how can we accommodate the deviation or differences that is found, okay, in control process. So we have different techniques. For example, we have preventive control system, dear students, and one is reactive control system. Preventive means the problem detected before it arises, okay? So the problem has not occurred yet before its occurrence or happening, okay? You have already found the solution, and thus, being as a project manager, so you have tackled the problem, before even it came into existence. So this system is actually called preventive control system. So in a lot of companies, when they are going to implement the projects, so let's say a manufacturing concern, right? So they have to make sure whatever they're going to produce, okay, they are of quality. So these cars have to, test some sort of tests. They have to go through some tests. Once the tests are clear, then they are moved to other functions in any manufacturing concern. And then the second one we have this reactive control system. Reactive means it is when the problem arises, and then you, in a response to the problem, okay, you come up with a solution. You come up with a solution and you resolve the problem. And then we have some other controlling systems like concurrent control system, okay, where if the problem arises, you spontaneously on the spot you solve that. But these students, as you know, that the projects are dynamic in nature. They are unique in nature, okay? So the problems that are going to arise, right, they're not going to be like, they're not likely to be solved on spontaneously. They've not included that control here, but majority control system that we have here in a project, a preventive control system and reactive control system. Okay, so dear students, from now on, I'm going to talk about what are the different phases of project management. Okay, traditional project management. Previously, previously what I talked about was like more modern form of project management phases. Okay, so long time ago, the project managers used to follow this life cycle for implementation of any project. Okay, so here in these slides you will see that a lot of topics, they are similar to what I have already taught to you. For example, dear students, uh, the first phase of the traditional project management is scope the project. So this is more likely to, this is more similar to what is taught to you, in the first slides. For example, here, defining phase. You will see the following questions here. What is the problem opportunity? Okay. What is goal of project? So in the traditional project management, okay, name is changed, okay, and the things, remain the same. So you will find these questions here. So I will try my best to give you more, information if possible. So I'm going to give you extra information, to the best of my knowledge, inshallah. So in traditional project management life cycle, the first phase we had, scope the project. Scoping the project is similar to your defining phase of any project, dear students. So let's get started scoping the project in traditional project management. So if you remember, dear students, I define a project as a temporary endeavor with a unique goal. And the goal is to accomplish something like solve a problem or to take advantage of an opportunity. So the project goal drives every decision, okay, in the project. So you want to make sure you describe the underlying problem or opportunity correctly. So you do this by putting together, a problem statement, okay? And what exactly is a problem statement? A problem statement, these students clearly defines the problem that you're trying to solve, okay? Or the opportunity you want to take advantage of. If you remember, dear students, in previous examples, I've given you a lot of, examples. For example, there are a lot of projects which are implemented to solve a problem or to avail opportunity. For example, the coronavirus we have, okay? So it's a problem, right? It's a problem. We want to get rid of it. A lot of pharmaceutical companies, they are trying to develop vaccination for that, okay? So it's a problem and opportunity at the same time. So it's a big opportunity for them to, fill this gap that exists in the market, okay? So I would like to further elaborate, the relationship, or the difference between the problem and opportunity, dear students. So, in relation to project management, problem can be defined as an issue, uh, and that is preventing the organization from achieving business goals or objectives. So problem is something that is a hurdle or creating an obstacle for achieving the business goals or objectives. So these students, when problem-focused projects must first determine the cause of the problem. Okay, what is the cause of the problem, and then you determine how to solve it. Okay, and these students, as far as the opportunity is concerned, on the other hand, they are the initiatives that will assist the organization in reaching business goals and objectives if they are implemented appropriately. So dear students, as you know, that problem is something else and opportunity is something else, and I've shown you the difference between them. Problem is something that is creating a hurdle or problem for achieving your business goals or objectives, and opportunities are there to assist the organization to achieve, the goals or objectives. And dear students, the second thing I want to discuss is establish the goal, okay? I have clearly distinguished between goals and objectives, that what are exactly goals and objectives. Goals are, they are abstract, they are not measurable, they are not time-based. Whereas objectives, they are, they are measurable, they are concrete now, and they are, it can be achieved, and time can be specified for these objectives. So the basis of the project scope should, enlist your goals and objectives to be one of the follows as a smart guideline, dear students. So when you're deciding on the goals or objectives of any project, so they must be smart, and that is to be specific, measurable, achievable, and it should also be realistic and completed within a specific time frame. So let's talk about this in detail. What exactly is SMART? Okay, so the first one is specific. So when I say the goals are specific, so this involves stating appropriately the project wants to achieve. Okay, so this is what and why and how this will be done. So simply you need to answer the questions what, why, and how. Okay, so when you are talking about specific in SMART guideline, so clarity should be there, and clarity will reduce the chances of ambiguities, okay, and misunderstanding. And the second, these students, is measurable. Measurables or goals and objectives. They are able to provide feedback, and they are and people are accountable for it. So when you're deciding on the project's goals and objectives, they should be measurable. In some there must be some criteria on the basis of which you can measure it. For example, uh, uh, a manufacturing company wants to increase its sale by 50%. So these students, it is measurable, okay? It is measurable in terms of percentage, okay? Or the ABC company wants to earn $1 lakh in upcoming year. So now this is also measurable in terms of dollars, okay? So dollar is the unit of measurement. And the third one is, dear students, achievable. So simply you have to, answer the question, can your project goals and objectives can be achieved given the resources on hand, okay? So what you're trying to, accomplish, is it, achievable? Is it possible or not, okay? So they must be on a realistic ground, okay? There must be something that must be achievable, okay? For example, if you should avoid setting goals that are not achievable. For example, uh, a small company which has set its goals and objectives to go internationally, okay, means the small business wants to become international in 1 year. So this is not achievable, dear students, okay? So the fourth one is, dear students, realistic, okay? So are the goals and objectives easy to deliver, especially if you face problems or, complications? Will these, reduces the overall quality of project's outcome and causes running over the budget or not meeting the deadlines? So realistic deals simply with a reality, okay? Is it, the goals or objectives that you have set, is it realistic, okay? Is it real? Is it possible? Okay, so you need to answer these questions. And the last one, dear students, in SMART we have time frame. Can your project goals and objectives be met within the allocated time? And is it a key criterion to meet these deadlines? So you want to achieve something, in a shorter period of time, okay? When you're deciding, deciding the objectives of goals, okay? So keeping your goals and objectives in mind, then you have to assign